Hello everyone and welcome to our weather update on Saturday, May 23rd, 2026. Right, so, last week we were talking about how long this current warm spell would last. There were big uncertainties, as most charts were showing it breaking down quite rapidly after, say, yesterday, Friday. Like, by this point, we're seeing the westerly winds returning, bringing in those classic, showers and rain and winds and Atlantic weather. But things are in for a change. We have seen a big trend towards high pressure, heat wave weather, and also just like blue sky, sunshine, and hot weather is coming. Possibly even record breaking for parts of the UK. This morning, though, we do have some storms in the North Sea, courtesy of a cold front that cleared through last night. And behind that, we're seeing clouds and clear breaks, cloudiest across western parts of Wales, also into southwest England, and across the hills of western northern England and western Scotland. Some higher level cloud as well into Ireland. Otherwise, it's a cracking start to today. And today will be a very warm to hot day, especially further east and south. But this warm, fine weather will become widespread across all areas as we head into the coming week. Even in Scotland, where it is currently a bit cloudier and more damp and misty, well, this will be short-lived. And you can see just how intense these storms are across the North Sea. Last night they did affect parts of the east of England, like Lincolnshire, up into parts of Yorkshire, down into the Midlands as well. Last night a few storms did blow up there, and they're still going off across the North Sea. Right, so here is the UKV high-res for cloud and rainfall. So this morning, you can see what's happening. These storms are clearing off. I think these storms were a bit more intense in real life than these models did forecast originally. Because this area is quite warm. It's unstable. Got a bit of lift in that cold front area here, so we do see these storms blowing off here. Right, but once we clear those storms out of the way, it's otherwise quite benign day today. A lot of sunshine, but I say benign in terms of any rainfall, because sunshine. It's late May. We are 1 month from solstice now, so yes, UV levels are high to very high. Yeah, definitely high UV levels. Sun cream, all that sort of stuff. And I heard also that because it's still late May, obviously we have quite cool sea surface temperatures. That means that if you're jumping into, say, a cold sea or a cold lake, on a hot day, cold shock is quite possible. So that is something that got my attention there through the whole weekend. Now, through today, a cracking day away from Western Scotland and parts of Northern Ireland. A cracking day, some hazy high clouds at times, but overall, what can you say? It's a classic late spring day. Beautiful. Right, so into Sunday, we see a cold front just starting to make inroads there across, again, Scotland, seeing some patchy light rain and drizzle, and this cloud coming in from the west. Elsewhere, away from Scotland and Northern Ireland, I feel like these parts of the country, Scotland and Northern Ireland, are always singled out for being just left out of the fun. Anyway, away from those areas, it will be, again, another wall-to-wall sunshine day. Blue sky, barely a cloud in the sky. There you go, and temperatures will be rising. And as we go into Monday, that theme continues. Crystal clear blue skies away from Scotland and Northern Ireland, but even there, some blue sky appearing. Don't worry. And by Tuesday, even across Scotland and Northern Ireland, it will be sunny. Now, as we go into Wednesday, well, all areas are fine, but just starting to hint at potentially some showers and storms moving up from the south into parts of Ireland, Wales, and England. So possibly a breakdown as we head into the end of the week, but that is all quite uncertain at this point. Right, so here is the temperature forecast from the UKV. So today, this morning, it's really very warm to start across parts of eastern UK. As we go into the afternoon, temperatures will peak at around like 29 or even 30 Celsius in parts of, say, North Kent, eastern areas of London, maybe South Suffolk as well. Elsewhere, you're looking at, for Ireland, say, high teens, locally 20 Celsius, and then most of England and Wales into the low 20s, if not mid-20s. Scotland, a bit cooler again. As we go into tomorrow, Sunday, well, again, temperatures rising rapidly in that strong sunshine. For Ireland, temperatures widely 18 to 22 degrees. Then for Scotland, you're looking at, say, 15 to 20. Then Wales and England, in the north, high teens, some areas low 20s. Anywhere south of, say, like, I don't know where that is, Blackpool to like Hull, widely mid-20s, if not high 20s, and 30 Celsius again is likely in parts of the south and southeast. Right, into that's Sunday. Monday, here we go. Monday, widely across many areas of England and possibly even East Wales, temperatures will reach 30 Celsius or above. And, well, Ireland, 20 to 26 degrees, really warm. Wales, high 20s, some localised areas possibly reaching 30 as well. Same for like North Devon, North Cornwall, and even Northern England, you're widely above the thresholds of 20 degrees there. Parts of eastern Scotland there, a bit cooler, but still decent, especially compared to Western Scotland, where temperatures will be pegged back into the low teens, under the clouds. Into Monday night, well, some areas might see temperatures not falling much at all. Temperatures might stay above 20 degrees in some areas. Look at that. So the model is hinting urban areas and areas west of higher ground, and I'll say why in a second. So you see Birmingham there, London, where's that? Peterborough sort of area, up towards Sheffield, Leeds. Then we get into West Wales, Devon, Cornwall. And what will happen is, as we go through Monday night, we'll see an easterly breeze picking up. And that means we'll see further effects take place west of higher ground. So as the air rises, it dries, it can condense at the high ground, but as it sinks, it dries out. It sinks on the lee side of high ground, and it dries out and warms up as it does so. So these will create some really quite warm temperatures overnight over these western regions there, like west of the Welsh Mountains especially. Now Tuesday, what a map. So we'll start with Ireland. So away from the north coast, you're looking at widely 20 to 28 degrees, and locally 29 or 30 Celsius is possible across parts of the west and Midlands. Well, look at that. England and Wales, and even like North Devon, North Cornwall, getting to 30 degrees or above. Peak temperature possibly 33 or 34. Even to 35 there across parts of the east. I think that's a bit overdone, personally, but we might see it. The record for May, I think, is 33 in England, or 32. Either way, if we see temperatures of 35, 34, 33, I think we'll see that record broken, obliterated by this heat wave. But again, like in the north, in the west of the north, you'll see temperatures into the low to mid 20s. Further east, across the north, though, like eastern Scotland, northeast England, a bit cooler due to an easterly wind picking up. Overnight into Wednesday again, the warmest temperatures will be in the western regions, especially west of high ground, like Western Kerry, Western Galway, West Mayo, Western Wales, and across parts of the south, of the south as well. Also notice how chilly the North Sea is this whole time. Temperatures are really like 10, 11, 12 degrees. So yeah, temperatures will be cold over the sea. Especially compared to like 31 degrees inland there and just like 13 offshore. Yeah, that's a big temperature contrast. And then Wednesday, bit cooler. Cooler is I think less hot is the right word for that. And then, yeah, again, quite mild and warm overnight on Thursday. A bit cooler though, parts of the east. Here's the GFS. Output is showing high pressure, rapidly building up. Like, you get a big chunky area of high pressure. It moves northwards, so even Scotland and Northern Ireland see the hot weather eventually, well, hot, I think more warm. And then we go into the end of May. The high pressure does sort of change. It just shifts a bit to allow a more southwesterly airflow. So stays warm, but maybe a bit more changeable again into the western north. June begins on a westerly note, so we see deep areas of low pressure. Yeah, and we end up quite changeable for the first week of June. Here's the ECM from last night. Again, high pressure is building strongly. Through today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's still there. Southeasterly winds as well, bringing in some really warm air. And then just into the weekend, we do see a breakdown by the weekend. So by Monday, June 1st, we're into a much cooler westerly regime and more changeable. So here is the UK Met run. UK Met. So high pressure is in over us for a good while here. Big area of high pressure. Winds are up from the southeast. Plus 15 ice dome is over the country. And that is really, really hot, considering it's only late May. Normally we don't get that in May. Normally that's like July and August. And previously, like before this warming trend started, I feel as though I hear that the 15 Celsius ice dome was practically sort of unheard of. So yeah, the fact we're seeing it in late May is definitely phenomenal. Well, it's noteworthy, I'll say. As we go into the end of May, again, whilst a breakdown is hinted at as the low pressure deepens to our west and the high pressure eases to our east. Here's the GEM. So again, high pressure, warm, hot, today, tomorrow, into the early part of the week. Maybe a thundery sort of trough comes through around Thursday. I'm not sure about that, but definitely weakening in pressure there by Thursday. Friday and the weekend, well, westerly winds do return. So maybe we go into a cooler, more unsettled start to June. And then, again, icon, very similar, hot and dry for a few days. Thursday and Friday, sea pressure weakening. And then by next Saturday, though, the icon is more hesitant about breaking down. High pressure is still over us into the east. So it's still warm and dry there, but low pressure is deep into the west. And arpege, again, warm to hot and dry. Look at that. The plus 15 ice dome getting all the way as far as Northern Ireland and Northern England. Really, really warm. Everyone, thanks for watching. Enjoy the late spring / early summer weather. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.